Hey, and welcome back to Make with Care. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Care. I'm a knitter based out of New Jersey, and I basically love everything fiber arts, especially knitting. Today, we're going to talk about fall plans. I have a lot of them, kind of too many, so we're going to go through them, and then at the end, I thought for winter it'd be fun to kind of look back at this video and see if I got even close. You'll see what I mean. You're gonna think I'm insane. But today we'll start off with what I'm wearing. This is my Lacy Loops tee by Other Loops. This was one of my last summer knits. I recently went over to Denmark and Sweden, and when I got back, the weather had kind of shifted into the 70s as highs here, from like very hot to basically down 20 degrees. So I'm super ready for fall and basically have hibernated all my summer whips and have been starting on fall stuff. So today we're going to talk about what I intend to knit in fall, which isn't officially for another couple of weeks, but I'm very ready. I'll start off with what I've already got in progress, and I'll show more about it in my upcoming podcast. But the first thing that I intend to make is the Paul cardigan by Mareka Knit. Hopefully I'm saying that right. These are the yarns that I'm using for this project. I went to Flock very briefly. I only was able to stop in for a couple of hours. I have some family that lives out in Washington, and I just happened to be visiting while it was happening. So I made a trip into it with some family members who aren't quite as into yarn and knitting as I am. So I didn't want to keep them there for, hours and hours and hours. So I made a quick stop. It was amazing. I wish I could have stayed longer and said hi to more people. But I did pick up a few different yarns, some of which I'll show, actually all of which I'll show in this video. So the first thing, this is for my Paul cardigan. This is from Happy Hounds Alpaca Ranch, and it's grown in Sisters, Oregon, and this is a 90% baby alpaca, 10% merino, sport weight yarn. This is so soft. I love this color, and I'm holding it with this mohair that's quite a bit lighter. I got this on like super sale for $4 a skein. Back when they were having their sale, like I think a couple months ago. So for $4 a skein. This is the Aloft, Knit Picks Aloft in the color Oat. I think this is so soft. I really like the feel of this one. So I'm holding these two together. This was very expensive. This was super affordable. So together it's kind of a still expensive project. But I'm so excited to have a neutral colored cardigan just to carry me in between the seasons. I intend to finish this within the next couple of weeks, and that way I can have it basically for the beginning of fall. So this might technically be a summer project because I'm not sure if I'll finish it before the 21st or not. But yeah, that's my first fall plan. Next up, I don't have a definite plan for, but this is another yarn that I got at Flock. This is from Bad Sheep Yarn. It's a sock yarn, and it's called Sedona Sunset is the color. It's a 75% superwash, 25% nylon. I just thought this was basically the perfect fall sock color yarn. It's this beautiful variegated orange and yellow. So I intend to make a sock out of it. I've not knit a full fingering weight sock yet, so this will be my first real sock. And I kind of want to do one with like a little bit of texture perhaps, but I don't know, because the yarn is so colorful, perhaps I should just stick to a vanilla sock. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below if you think of a sock pattern that would suit this yarn. But I think it's so beautiful and will make a perfect fall sock. So this is probably going to be like my little travel project for fall. I'm going to go up to New York a couple of times and things like that, and I take the train, so I like to have something small to work on, so that'll be this. I might as well finish up the Flock yarn that I got. So my next fall plan is the Lumi pullover by Sari Nordland. This is a Colorwork yoke, circular yoke project, and it's very, very popular. lots of people have made this. I've seen it a million times, and so I was really interested in making it as my first kind of colorwork project. Hopefully it's not too ambitious, but it looks like the gauge is 18 stitches and it's worsted weight. So I'm hoping that it'll be a relatively quick knit and not too crazy difficult for my first colorwork project. The yarns I'm going to use for the actual colorwork, I'm using this spin cycle yarn, and this is superwash worsted weight in the color lapis, and I have a few skeins of this. So this will be the colorwork, like flower and leaves and stuff. And then this is the main color. This is Knitting for Olive Heavy Merino in the color navy blue. So I hope that this will make a pretty loomy pullover. I'm very, very excited. I was super excited to see Spin Cycle at Flock. I've never really seen it very much in person. And I always see people, you know, especially like Andrew Mowry and those patterns, use this kind of yarn. And I think it's so cool, the color changing. And I thought if it's close, hopefully, you know what, I think it's close enough to the navy that it's not going to be like jarringly changing. Hopefully it'll look nice together. I love both of these colors, and I think that blue is good. So I hope that this will be successful. I do think the merino looks like, the heavy merino looks like slightly thicker than the Spin Cycle, which I'm hoping doesn't cause any weird issues. If it does, I do actually have a few other skeins of different color blues and the heavy merino that I could use and then use this for a different project. But I think I saw some combos using this perhaps in the projects. I think I looked and I think a couple of people have used this. So yeah, that's this plan. My next plan is for some yarn that I got when I was in Copenhagen. So I didn't really have very much time in Copenhagen. I went to 4 yarn stores in one day and I was honestly exhausted, and so I didn't really have the mental capacity to look at all the yarns, and I really wish that I had been able to stay there longer and been able to look at more yarns, but I suppose I'll just have to go back sometime. But I did pick up a few things, and the first of which I'm gonna make a Musselburgh hat out of. This is Lang Yarns Alpaca Socks Tweed, and it's in this, like, let me see what the official color name is called. The color name is like 8 numbers, but I would say it's like a kind of a sage green or like a maybe an aqua. I think it's really like a sage green with some tweedy specks. So I think hopefully that'll look good on me. I've been trying to figure out what my season is, but I'm cheap and I don't want to spend like hundreds of dollars to get someone to color analyze me. So I've just been trying to like figure it out. Not sure how well that's going, but I do think this will suit me perhaps. But yeah, this hat is a cool pattern that it looks like it's very, very popular, obviously. And it has different, you can make it with different weights and things like that. It's got all sorts of notations for different weights of yarn. So yeah, I hope to make it out of this hat or this yarn, and hopefully I'll have a nice fall hat. While I was in Copenhagen, I did go to Knitting for Olive. I did place an order Knitting for Olive when they were doing the UNICEF Palestine fundraiser. So that's where the heavy merino and some other yarn I have here came from. But when I was there, I did want to go in the store and pick out a nice color for an April cardigan, which is my next plan. So I have Knitting for Olive Merino and Knitting for Olive Soft Silk Mohair, both in the shade Sky/Cloud. This is a white, but it's like a very light neutral, but I think it has maybe like a slight pink shade perhaps. I don't really know how to describe it. It's hard to tell, and it looks like a little bit different in every color light, but to me I thought that this would be a good neutral for my skin tone. I hope that I'm correct. I spent a long time staring at the different white shades that they had, trying to pick like the best neutral for me. And it was kind of a cloudy day, so it was like a little bit hard to see that day. So I hope that I have the right shade. If you hear meowing, it is my cat Zelda. Per usual, she is present, but she's like goofing around on the floor right now. I don't know what she's doing. But yeah, so the April cardigan is by Petite Knit. And it's a 21 stitch gauge. Looks like it calls for 4mm needles, and it's like a more tight fitting cardigan, which is kind of the opposite from the Paul cardigan, which is a little bit more oversized, though I am sizing down because I don't want it to be super duper oversized. I don't think that is very flattering for me. I have kind of like an hourglass-ish figure, and I think just because I'm not like extremely thin, I think oversized things don't really flatter me that well. So I will be making the April cardigan as well. I'm really itching to have cardigans in my wardrobe, in case you can't tell. So I think this will be a perfect neutral, and I'm kind of envisioning this to be like a little bit dressier for going out at night, or just when I need to look a little bit more polished and presentable. I think that that's what I'm hoping this cardigan is going to be. Okay, and then I have some gift knits that I'm preparing to do for kind of Christmas. So the first of which is the Lacy Loops top, or is it the Lacy Loop top, which is the sleeveless version of this for my mom, and I'm gonna make it a Knitting for All of Dusty Artichoke held double. So I got this for that UNICEF fundraiser. I really love this color. It's like a beautiful green. My mom requested something green, and I sent her a bunch of patterns, and she was kind of like, whatever you think. And I kind of love this, and I think I really like how this came out, and it was fun to knit. So I thought making the Lacy Loop top would be really good. So that's the plan for that. I used a 4mm needle on this project. I probably will do the same, though this is made with Line by Santa's Garn, and then this is, you know, the silk held double. I also probably am going to size way down because last time I used Knitting for All of Pure Silk, it did grow pretty significantly, and also this pattern is super oversized. I need to check the ease on the top. Let me see, actually I have it right here. Yeah, so it calls for 4mm or 4.5 depending on what you're doing, and 20 stitch gauge. Okay, it does look like the top has less ease than the T, so it only has like 6cm ease, so maybe I won't size down that much, but I do feel like this yarn does grow, so I'm going to keep that in consideration, especially with the lace detail. But yeah, that's one of the gift knits I will be hopefully completing well in advance of Christmas, so I don't have to stress. And then my last fall plan, which I know there are a lot here. I'm aware that there are a lot here. My last fall plan is another gift knit. My stepmom had requested a cardigan with pockets and like a longer cardigan, and I thought she's always very cold. She runs very cold, so I thought I would do like a little bit of a chunkier cardigan. So I think I'm gonna make the Reluctant Homeschooler cardigan by Caitlin Hunter. This pattern calls for a bulky yarn and a 8mm needle, and then 5.5 it looks like for also 5.5mm needle for the ribbing, so it's pretty significant. I got this Drops Big Merino yarn and superwash extra fine merino, so I'm not sure if this is going to be bulky enough for an 8mm needle. I did see, I think, some projects with this. Perhaps it will be fine, or I could add like Surrey alpaca or something to it. I'm just more worried about it not being big enough for an 8mm needle. I also don't own an 8mm needle. I will need to buy one. I don't think I do anyways. So yeah, and this cardigan, the yarn that it calls for is the Farmer Daughters Fibers Squish Bulky, and it's a 12 stitch gauge. So Maybe I could even hold this double, I don't know. I think that this is an Aran weight perhaps yarn. I don't remember. It is 100, I don't even see how much this weighs. Oh, 50 grams equals 75 meters. So this is pretty thick. I'm hoping I can get away with making it with this. Like I said, if I need to, I can get some sort of suri or mohair and hold it with that to bulk it up a little bit so I can make this pattern. But this pattern is basically exactly what she requested. It's got nice pockets. It looks pretty oversized, and there's a lot of projects. There's 469 projects on this one. So yeah, that's my last plan. So that is everything. I feel like it's a lot. I do hope to have the Paul cardigan finished very much at the beginning of fall, so that I have, you know, 2 more cardigans to make, 1 top, and then the Colorwork jumper, Colorwork pullover sweater. I don't know. I say jumper all the time now because I watch a lot of British and other parts of the world knitting vlogs, and so it's like messed with my brain in terms of sweater terminology. But yeah, the 2 cardigans, the Colorwork sweater, and then a hat, socks, and a top. So I think I definitely have my hands full. I will report back in a few months to see how things are going. I'm going to take the rest of the summer to try and finish up my Paul cardigan and also a test knit that I have going, and then I'm hoping to jump into fall knitting and get these plans done. I think if anything is going to fall to the wayside, it's probably going to be the April cardigan, because I think that I could knit this in winter or spring, and I would be happy with that. I do think this is a nice wintry color, so I would like to have it for winter to be able to wear, but I could see, especially after I finish the Paul cardigan, perhaps that will hold me over until I can finish everything else that I want to make. But yeah, that's it. Thank you so much if you made it this far in the video. I would love to hear in the comments what y'all are knitting for fall. If you're knitting in the same things as me, that would be amazing. If you want to like chat about them, I'm always looking to chat about knitting. Otherwise, I'd love to hear what you're making. I have a few other patterns that didn't quite make the list that I'm hoping to do in winter. One, as a spoiler, is the Rosy sweater, that beautiful new rose Colorwork sweater. Looks so beautiful. So I'm definitely hoping to add that to my winter knitting. But yeah, I think fall is full for now, especially with the gift knits. So anyways, I hope y'all have a great rest of your day wherever you are, and I'll see you later.